Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel, and once again I am joined by the Bluur Nation, the legend, the myth, your guys' favorite guy here on the channel.
I am humbled, by the way. I am really humbled. You know, Poxo told me that you guys really enjoyed our first collab together, so it's nothing but humbleness, man. I really appreciate it. And thank you for having me again, Poxo. It's a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure to have you, man. Now, I just gotta say, like I was telling Bluur this earlier, like, the universe was scared of the heatness of this collab, because Bluur got a little sick earlier, and then we had to reschedule twice, and then I was getting sick. And I was about to have to message him yesterday and saying, hey man, we might need to reschedule again.
Yeah.
But
I know you told me that. I'm like, oh man, they just did not want this to happen. It was like, no, this is enough Bleach hypeness. You guys had your dang week. Cut it out now. But it can't stop.
Yeah.
It can't stop.
So this new chapter, it was a 10 out of 10. Or in Bluur's terms, it was a Zanka no Taichi.
Zanka no Taichi first off. People were I think somebody asked me. I'm not sure if it was that specific video, but no, I don't think it was. But someone said, well, Bluur, it has to be higher than that. It has to. I said, no, man. Zanka no Taichi is as hot as it gets, man. I mean, when you get to the core of the sun, I mean, it's kind of hard to beat that.
All I'm saying is I beat you, man. In my review, I was like, Bluur's probably going to call this a Zanka no Taichi. So I started my video by saying, okay, ladies and gentlemen, this new chapter was take Zanka no Taichi times 10. And that is what this chapter was like. Because I knew you were going to call it a Zanka no Taichi for real.
Yeah, it was inevitable. You know, it was really inevitable, and it was just so good, and I had a lot of comments, and I'm sorry to go back to these comments because somebody was like, "Oh, you're overhyping it too." You know, of course we got a naysayer in the comments. That's bound to happen, though, especially in YouTube. And it's like, no, I mean, for people who've been following me for quite some time, my reactions are. Not to sound cliche, because I'm sure plenty of people say this too, but they're authentic and they're real. You know, you'll see me moping around probably like this if I'm reading a chapter and I'm not enjoying it. You know, it's authentic and real. It takes so much effort to try to fake something. I don't get it. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I remember one of your friends was trying to get you to react to, what was it, the Naruto? The war.
I was like, dude, there is no way. There is no way. Yeah, this is a friend in real life, though. But there is no way that I am going to, no, if it was with him, sure. Because, there's people that have done that have watched the series, but then they react again, or they're watching their reactions their friend's reaction, who they're reacting with. I can do that. That's fine or whatever. But me, no. Yeah. That's like how many episodes? Can you imagine just trying? That's like reacting to Bleach again. Like if you've seen it off camera, then you start off YouTube. I just can't imagine doing that. You know?
Yeah. If you guys see a Pokesal Chapter 1 of Bleach reaction, just pretend you never saw this part of the video.
But no, going back to the chapter though, man, it was. Oh, how can I? Well, obviously it was Zanka no Taichi. I mean, if I gave it a 50 out of 10, I would. Yeah. Because certainly I would. Kubo comes back, but then he just has that. That's what's so special about him, man. And his writing, he just sets the world on fire. And he has people talking about it and talking about it. And then it's to the point that you have to rethink of things and be like, oh yeah, there's always a lot of discussion what comes with these chapters, and that's what makes him magnificent. And I don't care if people's like, well, you praise him too much. No, because he is magnificent, and we need to give him his flowers. Just like I said to you back in the last video, the last collaboration.
Yeah. So this chapter was phenomenal. It was great. The best part of the chapter, for me, it's tough because I liked everything the chapter gave us.
No, seriously though. Yeah. I mean, if you like, what part didn't you like? From a critic standpoint or whatever, and not try to be your biased self. it's seriously hard for me to say which, like, I didn't have any. I didn't have any part that I really disliked, or I was like, it's kind of like whatever. I mean, they introduced magnificent new characters. What was it? A vice captain now?
Two new vice captains.
Two new vice captains now, and we got to get a little taste. And Kubo did it so good, where he gets you to introduce these characters, and then you see a little bit as the chapter goes on, a little bit of their personalities and what makes them unique, like he always does. He gives you a little taste of it, of their personality. Then he even steps it up a bit further from when they were fighting the Hollows to give you a taste of their unique skill set. So magnificently done.
So for those of you guys that have somehow stuck around for 6 minutes and 10 seconds of us just calling this chapter amazing, we're going to get into what we're actually going to be talking about. So pretty much we're going to be talking about everything in this chapter and how we think this will affect the future of Bleach in the upcoming chapters. So there's a lot to talk about. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this video was very long.
At this point, yes.
Yeah. So we kind of already brought up the lieutenants. Yu and Atao. Both are goats in their own right. Especially Atao.
Seriously though, it's it's like beating a dead horse, but even going back, when all the captains were, introduced and all the Stern Ritters were introduced, they were all, Kubo just does a thing where he knows, he gives them a flair. He gives you an unexpected. Not everyone is shoehorned in there. Not everybody is kind of similar. You know what I mean? Everybody is distinct. And that's what's so cool about these new vice captains too. And so I didn't predict they were, I thought someone else was going to step in, but he was like, no, let me, this is an opportunity, which is a good opportunity he used. Let me put two new characters in there for these guys.
Yeah. Kubo, I think Kubo's the best mangaka I have ever read personally at introducing characters. Like, you can introduce hundreds of characters and make them all feel unique from each other and not feel the same.
But seriously, in that, and I'm going to go off a little bit off of this, but that's not even pertaining that, but it's pertaining, let's give an example, Bankai's, right? Like, you know what I mean? Let's give an example to that, because even I was anticipating seeing these other characters when I was reading the 1,000-Year Blood War storyline, and I was anticipating these other characters that I wanted to see, how their Bankai be. Let's give an example of Urahara. I did not expect that. Like, his Bankai, what it could do, I did not expect that. And then, I thought it was really cool because it just, like, he goes out of the box. It's just not a power hitter kind of Bankai or whatever it is. That's just like with Mega Strength and, kind of the stereotypical, if you will. But he just does a fantastic job of characteristics and distincting each character so well. So well.
Yeah, so we'll kind of finish the lieutenants before we get into anything else, because we should finish the topic before we, start a new one. So Atao, his Shikai, what did you think of that? I know everybody knows my thoughts. I made an entire video on Atao's Shikai, but
I thought Atao's was, if I had to describe it, seeing it for the first time too, one. And once again, everybody's going to be like, what? Praising Kubo again. Creative as usual. Really creative. And what's so cool about it is that it goes, you can see that, his Shikai actually matching with his personality. And I think that's what's so cool about it. It's like, oh wow, okay. That really, it's cool. And now I want it. Like when I start collecting Zanpatos, I want that.
Yeah.
Get a collection of them.
I can't wait to see. When they make a Tao Zanpakuto, they better make it to where, like, it can, like, trace your fingerprints. That'd be so cool.
Oh man. Just the possibilities, man. And now it got you kind of questioning. It's like, well, one, does he have a Bankai too, right?
So I don't think he has a Bankai, and here's my
You don't
reasoning
think he has a
for that.
Bankai?
Yeah, so in the
Okay.
Renji versus Byakuya fight, we get one line from Byakuya, where Byakuya says that when Renji uses a Shikai without a name, he is in shock. Because that means that he has
That's
a
right.
Bankai. A Tao here is facing a pretty weak opponent. It's just a ghoul from hell. So it's somebody who's on like a lower playing field. Somebody who he doesn't have to use his true strength to beat, So why would he use the name of his Zanpakuto to fight a ghoul so weak? But then the reasoning against that is his Zanpakuto isn't really normal.
True.
Because he releases it through sign language. So perhaps he needs to release it through sign language in order to summon whatever he is trying to bring out. Do you think he can like summon other animals than just birds?
And it kind of made me it was kind of a reference to me too. You seeing that ability first off. It reminds me of obviously for the Naruto fans out there, it reminds me of Sai.
Yeah,
it reminds me of Sai so much. But it's cool though, it's still cool regardless. And I'm gonna make this prediction. I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say he can. Okay. Just given the situation too and all that, I think he can.
I hope he can. I think there's so much potential with him. Like if Kubo gives this new character enough screen time, we could be looking at a top 3 or top 2 lieutenant. Like,
but you know what?
That's my opinion.
Speaking of screen time, I do think we all know this arc is moving forward. I don't care what no one says. Obviously, it's just a matter of when we're gonna get new information. Yeah, and when we're just, the stats come for how well this chapter is done upon release, how many impressions, all that obviously. But we all know, us Bleach fans know that I mean, come on now, it was talked about for like literally like it was trending. So
you don't end a chapter on them basically saying that the entire universe of Bleach has been a lie, that Yuabak was right in the end, and that
he just threw a bombshell and just like, for us who've seen it early, it was, was it, Friday that it came out? Yeah. Because then it was originally supposed to come out that Monday, which it did originally come out that Monday. The correct translations, the authentic translations.
The false translations.
And
I'm sorry, Viz does such a bad job at translating Bleach. I'm done. Like, I don't like supporting Viz anymore. If Viz wasn't the people, like if there was 2 companies that translated Bleach and sold Bleach here in the States, I would not buy from Viz. I'd buy from whatever the other company is. Yeah. But sadly, I have to give Viz my money in order to support the big Kubo.
Yeah, no, it's can we just talk about how it literally feels like that Kubo has just never left? Like, I know we talked about how great this chapter is, but for a man to still come back and do what he does, right? Mm-hmm. And just to do it, like it just to do it set the world on fire. Yeah, is astonishing. So astonishing.
I totally agree. And honestly, it feels like Bleach never left. Although Bleach ended 5 years ago, we've gotten the light novels. Can't Figure Out the World. Yeah. We've gotten Bleach Brave Souls, tons of new content thrown in there, designs made by Kubo. Like, I have never seen a mangaka before. And I don't know every mangaka. But so there could be an exception. But I think Kubo is a guy that just cares about a series so much that he's never left it. Like, we got Burn the Witch. He does designs for Bleach Brave Souls. And, I mean, he's retired. He has a wife. He has no need to do this for necessarily monetary gain.
Exactly.
Like, he could just live off of how much Bleach is making in the volume sales. Like, he doesn't need to do anything. But he does it anyway. That's just what makes me realize how much Kubo truly loves Bleach. Whereas other people would quit their franchise once they're retired. Or leave.
Masashi Kishimoto. I'm playing.
We don't talk about Samurai 8. We don't talk about it.
Play, guys, okay?
Samurai 8 is just Naruto, but instead they're samurais for real.
You know what? It's crazy because I give Masashi Kishimoto credit when it comes to abilities in terms of understanding them. He does do a fantastic job on them. So I did love reading about attributes and kind of that stuff. And I did enjoy it, but I just knew like soon as I said like, oh, this will be the last chapter. I was like, oh, what? This is like. Because I was literally reading it when it was coming out. Because I was actually happy for them. Like I'll support them and whatever they do, whatever their their endeavors take them. But it's
the thing with Samurai 8 is, from my understanding, is as it started to get good, it got canceled.
Yeah. No, seriously though.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, like I was like, wow, like that sucks. Like, but. That's just the way it is. But then you go back to Kubo, and this dude just released Burn the Witch, and everybody fell in love with it. And we already talked about this too. But so sorry, guys, you might hear a couple of repeats, but it's just to bring more awareness to it to get you guys thinking too. Like But okay, back to the chapter.
Yeah, Kubo was a genius with what route he took here. Okay, you know what? No, we're talking about Kishimoto here, and in this question, I don't support comparing the two. I want to make that clear.
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't support.
I love both of them.
No, I don't support comparing their two children. You know where I'm going with this. But it's happened on Twitter. How do you feel about Boruto as a character and then Kazui as a character?
I will say this. It was easy. It's easy for me to say that I like the direction of Kazui. And in comparison to Boruto, definitely. And that's just because you have to understand, too, when you get into Boruto and you get introduced to this character, he's the complete opposite of Naruto. He's the complete opposite. He has everything, but he's still a whiny kid. Who likes that, right? Who likes that?
Yeah.
No one likes that. No one wants a whiny kid that just whines about whatever. I get that. I totally get that. So it's easy to dislike his character right off the back. And it's like, okay. And then you turn into just like, oh, well, you're just a whiny Naruto. Like you're not, you're not.
You're really a brat. Special. And he literally says that. That's like the first line in the first chapter, if I remember correctly.
But as I will say this, as I venture and we venture into more Boruto, the new next generation, the next generation, the manga, he's becoming more interesting. And I want, because I do feel like when we get to the time skip, where he was at the beginning, fighting Kawaki, that he's definitely changed and he's matured and he's an actual shinobi. So it's just like I get it. Like so as of now, I'm gonna say Kazui's character is really more interesting now.
Yeah.
Because
what I'll say there though is I think Kazui's direction is better, and I like Kazui's character type better. But I think Boruto at the moment has to be considered the better character. Like I don't care how big of a fan you are of Bleach, Boruto has gotten development. Boruto has gotten more characterization. Boruto has had his own story. And that's what makes me say Boruto is overall slightly the better character here. Even though I prefer Kazui. I like Kazui's character type more. And they're both troublemakers. Both of the characters are troublemakers. I think Kazui is done in a less annoying way. Like in a way where it's actually funny and fun to be around, giving that fun energy. And I also think that it was done better because Kazui was more so introduced he was introduced in the final chapter, but he was introduced 5 years after the end of Bleach. Whereas Boruto was only introduced to 1 year after. So it's like you didn't get that time to rest in between releases. And then one other point I think I want to make is Kazui ain't the main character. I think my biggest issue in reading Boruto, and this is coming from somebody who never read or watched the war arc. Yeah, and you know that. I still need to get on that. And I still plan to get on that eventually.
You do. You need to, man. You need to.
But I feel like Naruto is like the character everybody loves in the Naruto verse.
Yes.
Not Boruto.
Yes.
And Boruto felt so similar to like Naruto as a character, besides the fact that he actually had parents. So it almost felt like it was like a brat version of a brat.
Yes.
But a guy that's a brat for almost no reason, Which I get Boruto's reason. It's just it's just nothing compared to Naruto. So when you're establishing two characters, you have like that comparison made. It highlights his brattiness more. And I didn't like Naruto as a kid. I found him annoying. Don't get me wrong. But
believe it.
Yeah. Believe it. Yeah. My name's Naruto Uzumaki. But I love the direction the one-shot takes because Ichigo is still the main character of his series. It's still Bleach, you know?
And that's what most of us, not me, because I just know Kubo he would find a way to, he always gives good direction with his characters, regardless of what you think of the Bleach story and whatever you want to say, even though I think is magnificent and is genius and people just forget certain things and foreshadowing and all that. One thing that Kubo has never failed is in his character writing, his character development. He never misses it. You cannot, that is like the definite one thing you just cannot say about this.
Yeah, it's a character-driven story.
And the thing is, what makes it so exciting when you think about it, right, is when you get into the story, you're so excited to see these other characters still.
Yeah.
I mean, let's say Aizen. I mean, can you not wait to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, like, it's like, well, we can't wait to see him because we already know he always turns up the heat. Any kind of panel he's in, any kind of scene he's in, he always steals it. Or some magnificent philosophy or something just crazy.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So, put that out there. Yeah.
So, like, speaking of Aizen disappeared.
I know. Aizen, I was like, I'm thinking, like, I'm scratching my head, like, hold on. Like, disappear. But, I tried not to dwell so long. Even I know some people don't care, whatever, on those chapter readings or whatever. And because I'm like thinking, but I had it in the back of my head, like, hold on, just disappear. Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
Like, I know so many people think it's just his seals in the Mukin, but I can't believe that. I'm sorry. I know some people are saying that, and maybe that's probably 90% of the chance where the story's going to go. He's just sealed in the Mukin, and that's what it's talking about. Well, guess what?
Yep.
I'm on that 10% that believes he escaped. Not only in the kanji.
I think he did.
Yeah, not only in the kanji, it's like, it works with the term escaped, especially with other terminology. Again, made a video on this. But, also because that's something Kubo would do. And that's so interesting.
Yeah. Because now it draws, not only Kubo knows which characters are popular, which characters are great. He knows, he knows Aizen obviously as much as we do. We know how great of a character he is. So I think he's just using that set piece just to be like, hold on, let me put him into the unknown. Yes. So no one knows what's going on. It's to get you thinking like, okay, what could this man be doing? Just like right now, we're thinking, what could he be doing? Yeah. What is he doing?
I think he's hiding in the Dangai.
He could be.
Because
he could very well be.
The Dangai is outside space and time. So it wouldn't work with the whole balance thing.
And knowing how powerful that guy is, it's possible. So, I mean, it's possible. But it's also scary, though.
It is.
Because he's scary in a, not like a, I don't know how to, he's just scary in the sense of the unknown. You know what I mean? You just just don't know. You don't know how to read him yet. You don't know if his motives are still going to, you don't know.
He's a character that most of the time you can't get in his head. And that's what I love about Aizen. I also have a feeling that two other aspects of Aizen that are revealed in this chapter. I think one of the reasons Aizen became immortal might have been, like there could have been multiple reasons, but I think he was actually a little scared of hell.
That could very well be possible. And knowing Aizen, he probably knew the truth, obviously. Like, like knowing him, his researching, the hell butterflies, all that.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if he knew the truth.
No,
I mean, come on now.
Say he is in the Mukin. I have a feeling somebody like Shunsui or maybe Central 46, well, probably not Central 46 knowing them, but Shunsui or the captains might release Aizen anyway in the Mukin, even if he's there, because the balance is broken. They need somebody powerful to try to keep the balance equal,
It was like, okay. Shunsui is like, probably like, bye-bye.
Shinsui's probably like, do I let the universe... the door. Yeah, Shinsu, do I let the universe get destroyed, or do I release Aizen?
People like that. I love that. I love that line, that difference between, and I love that Kubo established that too, right in the 1,000-Year Blood War with that. What type of leader Shunsui is and what he's willing to do to save, to save the Soul Society, to save his captains. I love that. People might be like, well, like when he released Aizen, or not really released him, but brought him up or whatever.
Yeah.
And people were, the other captains, especially Soy Fam, was like, how could he? Like, it's like, well, do you have any other better ideas?
Yeah.
Because
can you beat Yubak?
Yeah, can you beat him? Because then I wouldn't need to do this. But Raw screwed. So
yeah. I think Shinsui's development in a leader is so interesting in 1,000-Year Blood
and it's so
War.
underrated.
Yeah,
it's so
totally.
Underrated.
Yeah, I love it. He's probably top 3 characters for me in Bleach.
Yeah, and because when I talk about Shunsui and I talk about him being the head commander now with some of my friends who are hardcore Bleach fans too would be like, I don't think it should have been him. And I'm like, what? And one of my friends was like, I thought it should have been Unohana because Unohana, I feel like, had more experience, and she was a part of the original Gotei 13, and he just went off. And he was upset that she had, spoiler alert, R.I.P. Unohana, but bad.
I think
he was such a huge fan of her, so he was already biased.
Well, he'll be happy for the whole arc.
Exactly. It's like, well, now you can probably meet her and the rest of the original Gotei 13 if Kubo really wants to go that route.
Yeah. I really hope Kubo does explore the original Gotei 13, but that leads into another crazy question. Here's the thing with this new chapter. There's just so many hypotheticals, I feel like. So, with the new captains, they're either evil, one, like they're being controlled by how Hell's reversing them. And that's the very popular theory. That's what everybody's been saying. But here's another theory that I found over on Twitter that I didn't even think about. What if they're like the wardens of Hell? Because if you notice, Ukitake stabbed Granz and brought him back. And it was never stated whether they were forced to be controlled or evil. And it was never even stated if the what was the term that they used for the guy in charge of Hell? Not ambassador, but no, they used warden. Okay. Well,
they used warden.
So they wouldn't be wardens, they'd be like guardians of Hell. But it was never stated whether the warden of Hell was evil either.
First off, and on top of that question, just in general, and I'm sure all of us thought this too, I just want to see this villain. You know what I mean? We know there's a villain, obviously.
Yeah.
I want to see what this villain is. I want to see, because to be honest, it's like they have big shoes to fill. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like they have, a Kubo. I'm just curious in that too, secretly behind, amongst everything else that's going on right now, right?
The villain is Hell itself.
The villain, it could be.
Yeah.
But what if it's got to be someone too?
No, I agree.
It's got to, I feel like it always has to be someone. It has to be somebody. Even if it's manipulations or whatever, that's fine too.
What if it's Aizen again? Ooh,
I would be fine with that.
Yeah, same. I'd be fine with it too. I'd want him to be more of I'd want him to be more of a side role. I do think it's Hell. You haven't read Camp for Your Own World, so you don't really know this, but the political the royal families are very corrupt. Besides the Kuchiki household, and I think Yoichi Shiho or something like that.
What about the Shiba?
Shiba isn't a noble clan anymore. Yeah. So besides those two, the noble clans have been corrupted. But even the Kuchi clan used to be somewhat corrupted. They all had their own goals, but they were corrupted down to their base with what they did to the Soul King. Now, I'm not going to really explore that because that's a spoiler for you, and I don't want to spoil you on that review. But
I need to watch that. Sorry, guys. I know. Yeah. I know.
Failure as a Bleach fan.
I know.
Fake fan.
I know. They was like, how you going to watch the new chapter and you ain't going to watch the Can't Fair Your Own World? Come on, man. I know. Sorry.
But yeah.
Sorry.
I think that based on that, we do find out that one of the royal families, the only unnamed one, is interested in Hell.
Oh.
So what if the warden is actually the leader of that noble family. And we know that noble families desire, like, power. Each of them want to gain more power, and that's why they did what they did to the Soul King, which is something that you'll find out later on. And that's why Central 46 is like their dogs, almost, is what they're referred to in the novels.
Wow.
Yeah, it gets very political in Camp for Your Own World, and I love how it explores Bleach's politics.
That's cool, though. Okay, guys. Yeah. All right.
And people who say that wasn't foreshadowed, Aizen's entire speech at the end of like his fight with Ichigo and Kisuke is foreshadowment for that moment when he like talks about how it's like how can you let that thing up there be in control, because that thing is based on an entire lie. Like, you have no idea. I can't wait for you to read Camp for Your Own World. It shows how the world's just a lie, and I'm not gonna get like deep into it. But yeah.
No wonder why Aizen was so pissed.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes Aizen a lot. We all know Aizen in that part, because I reacted to the anime first. But to see that even in anime fashion, I think they did that part, they definitely did a good job with expressing that and showing him. And his emotion just switched. It just changed. And he was just going off on Kisuke. I was like, jeez. Before he got sealed.
Crazy. Once you find out the truth, it almost makes Kisuke feel like he's the villain in his position, and Aizen's the good guy in his position. Kisuke. You just think Aizen's going about it in the wrong way. It's a little more complicated than that. A little bit. Like, Aizen's too complex of a character to just say he's a anti-hero or something like that, because he's far from that. He desires power himself, but...
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I mean, he is a true villain, right? He's a true villain.
But yeah, I think it would be more interesting if this Warden of Hell was the villain. And this Warden of Hell was controlling the original Gotai 13, maybe using them against others around there. And then we could get all those interesting fights, maybe like Shunsui versus Yamamoto. I would love it.
I said that way before. Now that you brought that up, I did definitely see that. I said one of the scenes I would love to see, and I did this, I think I did this in a voice channel on Discord. I said I would love to see Yamamoto interact with Shunsui and Ukitake, all three of them. If it's possible.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I want somehow them to convince Ukitake, like undo whatever's controlling him, or figure out how to convince him to join them. And then for us to get Shunsui and Ukitake versus Yamamoto, we get Ukitake's Bankai in there. Shunsui's going all out himself, and then Yamamoto's going all out, and it's just this deadly battle between the three.
I feel like for him too, that I would love to see it, whether if it's after the battle, before the battle, whatever, right? I feel like for Shunsui, because he lost his, which pretty much is like his father figure. He lost his brother, because they were like brothers. And, all throughout this war, and he was just promoted throughout that whole entire time. So everything processed so fast for him, right?
Yeah.
So fast that he couldn't really have time. I mean, obviously at the end, I'm sure he had time to kind of sit there and take it all in after. But, I just want I feel like a heartfelt moment, if they were going to put anything in there, would be cool to see it with them. With Yamamoto and Shunsui especially, kind of acknowledging him as an actual head captain, like, wow, almost like a proud kind of.
Yeah, I would love it for, like, when Shunsui does the finishing blow against Yamamoto in this hell of some sort. If Yamamoto's like, I'm so happy to realize that. Kind of like, not like the War Arc, how they did the clones, because from what I heard, that was terrible. But I have watched the Haku and Zabuza moment when they get reanimated and are defeated again. And I would love something similar to that, where, like, Yamamoto finally recognizes Shunsui. Like, he recognizes him prior, of course, by making him that. But he's like, I'm so happy that I entrusted you. My son. Because he says earlier that he was like a father to them earlier. My son. Yeah. Like, he calls him, like, my son.
Let me tell you something. Captain. I would cry like a baby.
I would too.
I would cry like a baby. I don't care what nobody says. Man. Wow. It would be beautiful.
It would be
definitely
so
one of those. Can we also talk about there's so Ichigo, because everybody want to see crap. How strong is Ichigo now? You know, everybody's always going to talk about
well
that. Because we don't like really know, right? Like we don't really know. Like we can gauge. We can be like, well, obviously, you know, he should have his hollow powers. He should have his Quincy powers returned to him. From what I've heard after what it Can't Figure Your Own World, that was spoiled to me. Yeah. Because I remember I asked, I was like, does he get his powers back? Because now that just pissed me off. I was mad. I was like, what? After, Yuha kind of, absorbed it or whatever.
And
they're better.
Yeah. And now that he's half ghoul.
Yeah.
That was a joke. Oh, I'm sorry. If it turns out that he's half ghoul, I'm criticizing Bleach for that.
Right, no, but it's just okay. One, he cuts the chains. You know, where Ranji was getting impaled by them. Yeah, he was running away from Xyloporo.
And
that guy is first of all, his design was cool, by the way.
No, I agree. I totally agree. Kubo totally banged on that design.
Yes, like the two horns, man. Kubo, magnificent. You never fail with these character designs. You know what you're doing. Just like a badass. You made a badass scientist look even more badass. So
facts spinning.
But some people were asking me. They was like, "Well, do you think Zangetsu is that sealed or is that unsealed?" And I'm like, I would think that it's unsealed, but I mean, I wouldn't know. Obviously, it's speculation.
I have my own speculation. I think it's sealed.
You think it's sealed?
Because
you know what? To your point, I do hope it's sealed. Like I did tell people, I said, I do hope it's sealed. I would love it. I would love if it's sealed. So
it would make sense too, because like as we look at Bleach in the story, it would make sense for a sealed to look something like his old Shikai in a way. Yeah. But will he do that? Who knows? I don't think he's gotten weaker. I think he's gotten stronger through the years. But
I mean, he's still not like he's fighting, people of his caliber or people that are like, a spot like Grimjow's level or whatever. He's fighting Hollows still, right? He's exterminating them. But my thing is now too, thinking about it, is he able to utilize Blue Vein? Like, you know what I mean? Like on the go, is he able to utilize all this? Because if he is, the possibilities to this man's abilities, what he can all do for offensively now, not only that, but for defensive capability. Oh man!
And once he's in hell, is in hell, do you think that he will gain ghoul-like powers? Like not by being half ghoul, but hear me out. I know I just said if he does turn out to be physically and biologically half ghoul, I'm criticizing Bleach.
Yeah,
I wouldn't like it.
I wouldn't like it too.
But
I will say that too. I would feel like, okay, Kubo, come on, don't do that. You know what I mean? Like,
but also, if it happens to all the Vizards, because remember how Hollows are acting in hell. What happens? How Grains explains. If that happens to Ichigo, that would at least make sense. Or if his Quincy powers were absorbing Hell Reishi, and that made him be able to do something, it'd be interesting. I don't really want that. But that's the only way I could think of Kubo using like hell-like powers with Ichigo without it being a plot hole per se. Doesn't mean I'd like it. Yeah, like I wouldn't like it. But
I know it's.
I don't want him to be half ghoul. If he's half ghoul, I am going ham. I'm going ham on Kubo.
You hear my man Poxel? He said I'm criticizing him. Yeah, I'm criticizing him. Sorry guys, I can't. Hey, I agree with him though. That's taking a little too far.
Because Ichigo being those four species makes sense because he's part of the like a piece of Eastern philosophy to where that's like foreshadowing Ichigo's species and his biology, and then also Ichigo like there's foreshadowing for each of those four powers and abilities as well. So it makes sense for him to have those four powers. But if you attack in ghoul, there's no place in Bleach where it foreshadows him having ghoul-like abilities. It would only make sense with the Quincy and Hollow thing, which is the only way that I wouldn't call it an actual issue. story-wise in the story. But if it turns out he says like, "Congratulations, Ichigo, you're actually half cool. Let me give you a new origin story."
I'll be mad.
Yeah, I'd be mad too because the origin story in Thousand Year Blood War was so good.
You know who else I want to see though?
Who else?
Want to see in this arc? Please. I mean, obviously we still haven't seen Chad yet. I'm sure we'll probably see him.
Uryu.
Especially with Uryu.
Yeah.
But I would love to see Ishin.
Okay.
And I would love to see Ishin. Because you know how, Kubo has always been good at balancing comical and seriousness. That's just his thing. And I think for a Kurosaki, kind of like, regardless of, even if it's at the end or whatever, right? At the end of the at the arc when everybody's going back to their day lives or whatever, doing what they need to be doing. Unless who knows if hell wins or whatever, we don't know, right?
Yeah.
But if that's the case, they're going back. I would love to see a moment with Ishin, with his grandson Kazui. I would love to see, that. I would love to see it. Him like that. I would love okay.
I also want to see Ishin. Maybe Ishin could fight Yamamoto. That'd be a cool fight.
And this is how the way we see his bond. Man, I'm down. I'm like, I'll probably pass out. I'll probably fall off my seat. I would be like, man.
Yeah. Or like I have a feeling that this every arc seems to get darker in Bleach. Like we agree on that, right? Yeah. Like the full like the Arankar arc is darker than Soul Society. The Fullburn arc is darker than Arankar, and Thousand Year Blood War. While there's some elements that aren't as dark as Fullburner, because Fullburner is like flipping Ichigo's mind upside down. I'd still argue overall it's darker with the implications of what's actually going on and with characters
and the casualties
dying. Yeah,
and if you're thinking casualty wise, of course.
I have a feeling the Hell arc is going to have some casualties.
I think so too, and I kind of hope it does because Kubo, to me, if it does go that route too, which I think it will, because this is Hell, and whoever they're gonna fight, we don't even know. It could be literally, it could be the original Gotei 13, and we wouldn't know. And they're, for what we've realized or what we learned, are pretty powerful.
Yeah.
So I could see that, and I can see Kubo doing it too, just because I feel like he's at this point, he's like, okay, let me look at each arc, right? And let me see what's the greatest thing about that arc, right? That keeps people in their seats. Let me see all this, right? And let me try to put it all in one. Let me mash it. Let me mash it together. And I could see that. I could. I hope
Byakuya
so.
dies. In the next chapter, Byakuya dies.
Like just right off the back, like what? Everybody's going insane. Like what?
Everybody would be like, okay, guys, wait 5 chapters, he'll come back. No,
but it's so cool, man. It's like we get to literally sit here. And this man gave us so much to talk about. It wasn't like a chapter that's just that rounded up and you talk about it for like 10 minutes and what you think, and then that was it. Like it's just so many possibilities.
There is really just endless amounts of thoughts I could have on this upcoming arc. We could get the 1,000-year flashback because we'll have the original Gotei 13 in Hell.
Even if they just showed that, I always, after the end of the 1,000-Year Blood War, or even after hearing about them, and Unohana was a part of that and all that stuff, I was like, y'all got to give us that.
Yeah.
Y'all, I want to see how ruthless they were in their doings. I want to at least see a bit of it. Yeah, I'm sure as all of us would too. We want to see how ruthless they were.
Yeah.
We want to just know about the history. We want to know we want to know the history.
What if we got like a turn back the pendulum length of an arc?
Oh man.
Like right in the middle of the Hell arc. Because we have Unohana, we have Yamamoto. You have Bach gets mentioned. I doubt he'll play a role in the arc because he's the sealed Soul King kind of right now.
Yeah.
And then we have potentially the rest of the Gotei 13, 11 more captains, that were there during the Quincy battle. So we could totally get a 1,000-year flashback in this arc. And what else we could get? What could be all the Kenpachi versus Kenpachi Zaraki.
Oh man. And knowing that would fit his character so much because we all know Kenpachi Zaraki, he is so OP now. He needs to have something that's really going to challenge him and just his character. Now,
Yeah.
what better way for Kubo, and that's genius already, to be like, okay, let's put 3 of the past Kenpachis against him. Let's put, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
let's up the stakes with him.
Yeah, and
let's
we have 3 named Kenpachis, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we have 3 other named Kenpachis. Or we could get every other Kenpachi that's ever existed.
No.
That would... I don't even think Zaraki could handle that, not gonna lie.
I don't think so either, but what makes it so cool is that he, no matter what, for what me and you know and everybody know that watch Bleach, is that he enjoys it no matter what. He makes it entertaining no matter what, even if the odds are stacked against him. That's what's...
Imagine if that's where Zaraki dies, though.
I would cry.
I would cry
if any of the other captains are. I would cry.
I would cry, but it would be such great closure to his character, him having fun against the Kenpachi.
It would be.
That would be a battle that he could never have more fun with, you know?
Because think of it like this, though. Now that we're thinking about it, it would actually even make more sense for his character if he was the one to go. Because what does he strive for, right? What does Kenpachi strive for? What is his nature, right? Granted, I mean, he could just fight Ichigo, like, hey, man, I need to fight somebody. It's been a while. You know what I mean, though? Like, it's been a while. I need somebody strong to fight against. I'm choosing you. So, but I think it would make sense to fulfill him, you know? And okay, Apoxel. Okay, that's a prediction right there.
It's so out of the ring. It's so out of the ring though. Like it's just us taking the information we have and coming up with like at this point it's like fan fictions that we're writing in this video for real.
There's so many ways the story can go. It's just
there's too many, and it's so good. That's the thing. Like there's so many great ideas that people could go with. Like I had another one, Aizen. He's out of the Muken. He's down there. Ichigo's heading towards the Hell Warden to fight him, but Aizen gets there first and starts fighting the Hell Warden. The Hell Warden melts Aizen down to the bone to make him ashes. And before Ichigo steps into the room to fight the Warden, he watches as this powerful opponent he wants to face regrow himself by Cell. Like that would be like so scary for Ichigo.
I know, and the thing is too, like people will be like, okay, all right, so Aizen and Ichigo fought together side by side, right? Against Yuha, whatever, right? They teamed up, which is like the scariest duel. When you really think about it, it's just frightening even thinking about it. So I could see that, but if we got another Aizen versus Ichigo, I mean, come on now, I would definitely, come on now. I would be hyped. I would be hyped because these two guys, at their powers, and Ichigo's an adult, and he's so much more experienced, and he's, he knows what it's about. Both of them, oh man,
facts. I totally agree. Same.
I'm about to fade.
And like 1,000 Year Blood War was kind of heading in that direction. I felt like, and it would work as well because at this point it would be Ichigo completely one with himself, because when he fought Aizen, he wasn't one with himself, and Aizen would be the infinitely artificial god, because like that the meaning of the first fight was it was a man who obtained godhood ascension. I'm calling it godhood, even though it's not godhood, but godhood through artificial means, and a man who obtained godhood through natural means. However, Ichigo didn't truly achieve that godhood because he was not one with himself. He only had 2/3. He was only 2/3 one of himself.
Can we just say something too, now that you just brought up the first fight? That guy Ichigo is such a badass. I miss, like, you know what? I love me some Fullbring Ichigo, because, especially the Bankai Fullbring Ichigo. That's like one of my favorite forms of Ichigo, because it's just sleek and badass, and it just fits him so well. That Dangai Ichigo he is something else.
Yeah, I think Mugetsu is my favorite form of Ichigo.
Hey, people ask me, it's hard. Like, it is hard for me. People be like, and it might change every day. I'm like, what I'm feeling and what I'm watching. I might watch Ichigo versus Ukiyo and be like, oh, well, I mean, Vasto Lord. I mean, come on now. Like, when I'm seeing it, it's like, jeez.
You might spend $1,000 on Ichigo versus Ukiyo statue and have that bias for Vasto Lord Ichigo. But hey, it's each their own.
Hey, they need to ship me out my statue right away. I want it. I want it. Okay, and the thing better be this big. It better be.
When I get my money up, I'm getting one for real.
Hey, I might, depending on it too. Hey, because I'm obviously with these statues, really, they're really, really fragile. So you definitely have to be careful for them. Definitely, I think. Well, who was it? And I'll tell you a story about this statue offside. It was Byakuya's statue, the only one I have, and I forgot what studio did it. They're so fragile because how they come in, they come in pieces or whatever. Mm-hmm. The way they had, because it's with him performing his Bankai, when he drops the sword. So he's holding his sword. His sword is still attached to his hand, but he's releasing it. And I remember I broke a piece of that sword that was supposed to cling on to his hand because I tried to put it in and it wouldn't go in. So I tried to shove it in and it just broke. And I'm like, no. That's the only statue I had to literally hot glue for it to stay on. You'll see it. And so actually on my channel, because I need to move it over to my no. I think I did. If it's not over on Blur Collectibles, it's over on my original channel because I still have to move those videos over. But it's crazy, man. It's crazy. That's the only statue, though. Did it hurt me? Yes, it hurt me because I was like, crap. Like, I don't want it to break. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. But that Ichigo versus Vaster Lorde statue, man.
Yeah, that is going to be pretty. And, once I get like a newer kind of setup, because I always envision, even whatever videos that I'm doing, that for the backdrop that I'm just going to use, have all the statues behind, Bleach statues and all that stuff. So, pretty cool for everybody to see that too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
No, man. Yeah.
All right. So, Kazui Kurosaki. He's sending people to hell. How do you feel about that?
He is. Yeah, because one, at the beginning when I was reading it, I'm just like, okay, he just opened up a portal, but then you kind of just like, huh, and you really start thinking about it towards the end. I'm like, hold up, this guy really just,
yeah,
Kazui, man, that kid is going to be seriously OP.
Oh yeah, I have a feeling. It
is just insane.
I have another feeling though. That he's the 10th level. Like, I'm mixed. Like, I want to say that he has, like, an OP Ryatsu, but he isn't trained. Like, I almost want to say he's like Ichigo as a kid, except he's getting his Shinigami powers a little bit earlier.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely.
Like, I don't think Kubo would make him, like, captain level at this early in the story. Unless Kazui becomes a villain.
Hey. Kubo dared, man. Hey, I would not be opposed to that. If Kazui, let's say, even if there was who knows when this series is going to end, Bleach officially, if he decides to get going, and there's to the point that, there's a time skip, and Kazui, is away somewhere and he's training or whatever, right? And, he's at his teens or whatever, and he challenges his father. I would love that. I would absolutely love that because it's something that's not been done, right? Something that you haven't seen, especially in Shonen, and that differentiates it even more from Boruto.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
Kazui becomes Sasuke.
He's like, skip everybody. Nope, I'm not a nice kid.
I have a feeling, though, that Kazui isn't evil. I think he's being tricked to send these people to hell. Like, manipulated. I think he is, too. Because
I think he is.
That might be one of the reasons why the balance is breaking, because Kazui's sending all these people down to hell,
Yep. This always has something to do with a Kurosaki. It's always going to have something to do. So they're probably someone in hell probably hates Ichigo. Probably was like, you know what? What better way to take this guy down but to use his own kid in doing so.
And we know it's hell because Khan was shocked when he saw what was on the other side. Like, Code, the guy that's seen the Quincy, the guy that's seen the Soul Society, the guy that's
like, what?
He was like sweating for a minute.
Shout out to Cone, man, by the way. I miss him. That's the whole.
You know,
that's the homie.
I didn't think I would miss Cone, but when I saw Cone, I missed him a little bit. Like I was like,
oh man, my heart is fulfilled. Now we have to see, well, Chad. I don't know if we even going to see him at this point, honestly.
Even in the one shot, honestly Kubo doesn't treat Chad right.
He might even be like, honestly, I can see Kubo being like, you know what? Just have him being on vacation, shooting a movie or something, and while this is all going down. I can honestly see him doing that.
So every character in the main cast gets an arc to themselves. Soul Society was Rukia. Substitute Shinigami was Ichigo. Wakamundo was Ohime. Flowbringer was Chad. And then Thousand Year Blood War was Uryu. Do you think the Hell arc is going to be Renji's arc? Because even in the one shot, Renji got quite a bit of screen time.
He did. He
has a child.
And speaking of Renji too, let's talk about Ichika because I like her character a lot. I like her. You know, I don't think a lot of people talk about it because, you know, Kazui is, you know, Kazui, obviously. He's the son of the main protagonist of the whole story of Bleach. But Ichika, I like her character. I like what Kubo has done with her character.
I think she's very adorable. She's like,
she
has like almost Boruto's brat. I don't mean to compare the two. I'm just using Boruto as a reference. She has like Boruto's like brattiness almost, like, oh master, but it's more entertaining because of how the characters that she's interacting with almost, you know, like the way she's acting towards them. It feels like almost like just a cocky girl who's daughter to a captain and a lieutenant, you know.
That had the relationship with Ikaku. I'm just laughing.
Ikaku's like, Ikaku's
so great. It is so great. Just like, it's so good.
I can't believe Viz would censor the swearing though, because that was like so funny.
I know but you know, Kuma, man. Guys, he just knows how to return and bring us what we want. And then bring us, you know, just to give us what we want and just to talk about things even longer. He knows what he's doing, man.
100% agree with that.
But now the next question for this is this arc. Is it going to be which I kind of do hope it is. Is it going to be a monthly thing? People were like, no, it should be like a bi-weekly thing. I'm like, I don't maybe, but I would prefer if it was a monthly thing, kind of like, you know, Boruto right now in Dragon Ball Super. One, we get like 50, we get 50 pages, right? Or 50, you know, panels or whatever. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it's just going to be...
I want it to be bi-monthly.
You want it to be bi-monthly?
I want him to alternate from Burn the Witch to Bleach every other month.
Could see that, and it gives them a lot of time either way, like for him to actually focus and be like, okay, for this,
even if the chapters are 30 pages, I'd be fine with that.
I would be too,
yeah,
because as long as he's focused and he's, you know, and he's good with it, and I'm sure Kubo at this point would be like, well, if I'm doing anything, you know, I really want to focus on this, you know, I want to focus on these two regardless, and give them my attention every time throughout every part of the story. I don't want to, and that's because someone asked me, he's like, "Oh, he should go back to weekly." I said, "He's not going back to weekly.
He's a married, retired man."
Yeah, I said he's not going back to weekly, dude. They're asking way too much now. Like, he's not. Would I love that?
Same.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna say it, well, yeah, we would be jumping in our seats right now. But yeah, I think he's definitely. We'll say bi-monthly.
I think at the most he'd be willing to go bi-weekly, and I actually think he'll be focusing on Bleach instead of Burn the Witch, personally.
Yeah. I'm just curious. I'm curious on when you're gonna get the next news about it. That's what I'm really curious about.
Final thoughts, kind of. We're over an hour deep into this at this point.
Yep.
Which is wild, but we could probably do this for 7 hours.
can do it for 24 hours, okay?
Yeah,
we can
for
talk
real.
Bleach all day.
For real.
'Cause
Especially
it's
this
like
new chapter.
you think about it for a little bit, what you're saying, what you're thinking, and then you
Yeah.
take time and you think about it again, and you're like, hold on, wait, and this, and then what about this, and then what about that?
Yeah. I mean, you're seeing it here. Like, we keep on having to redirect ourselves back to the new chapter because we'll talk about something and then we'll jump all the way back to the Ronka arc or like the Fulburn arc or like.
Yep, all the arcs, everything.
We did,
everything.
we did that a lot in the original video. We titled it "Thousand Year Blood War," but I think we talked about Thousand Year Blood War for like 1/10 of the time.
Hey, I'm gonna say I apologize. That is not Paxo's fault. I redirected I redirected everything, all the questions into everything else. So I take ownership of that, and I do apologize.
No. I take 50-50 because I humored all the questions.
Well, okay, we'll do 60-40.
No. 50-50. Take it or leave it.
Dang.
You can trust me. I'm wearing a ramen shirt.
Hey, the ramen shirt is dope.
Yeah.
I mean, I got let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Now, can y'all see? Let's see. Tachi.
Ooh, Akatsuki.
Yep. Look at Itachi. Say hello to Sasuke's older brother.
Let's say hello to the man that's now dead.
Yeah, which is sad.
Yeah. So, who do you think is gonna die in this Hell arc? If somebody dies, who do you think it is?
Well, now, just based off what we were talking about, definitely could see Kenpachi dying.
I could see Byakuya dying too.
I could see Byakuya. I could see Byakuya. I would say finally dying. I love Byakuya. We all know what transpired with that, but I can see Kubo doing okay.
I think if this arc is based around Renji as a character, Byakuya's death would be perfect. But what if Renji dies?
I would actually be sad.
I would be too.
Really, really sad. I mean, I think especially for Ichigo. No, obviously, come on, Rukia. But,
and Ichika.
Ichika.
Oh my gosh!
But I think that would really hit Ichigo just as much too for some reason. You know what I mean? Because he was. You got to think about it. He was there too in the 1,000-Year Blood War, one of Ichigo's most crucial moments. And remember when he picked him back up after his first defeat against Yuha, and Renji came to his aid and said, "Nope, get your butt back up. You're about to go chase after him."
I could see some type of situation where they require to put like a bunch of Ryatsu killing you in the process to close the gates eventually or something like that. Like, I don't know. Like we just don't know too much about the lore of Hell to say anything. Yeah. But like something like that. Ichigo is about to do it. Renji kicks Ichigo out to the world of the living, and then he does it. And then Kubo could do a whole chapter showing everybody's reactions as they feel Renji's Ryatsu disappear. Ichika's reaction would just make me cry, I feel like. It'd be like a child losing a father.
Rukia, Ichika would definitely be crying the hardest.
I feel like Rukia wouldn't make me cry the hardest, more so because I feel like with her character, she would try to stay strong during it.
Exactly, because she's always been like that. You're absolutely right. She's always been strong and the encouraging type. Mm-hmm. So I feel like she would have to be for her daughter. She would have to be for her daughter and for everyone else, especially Ikaku. It'd be a one too. So
Ikaku steals Rukia from Renji after his death.
Hey, he's gonna pull a Piccolo. You
know what would make the Ichirukis happy? If Renji dies, if Renji dies, and then Ichigo,
they would be really
Ichigo has a divorce with Ohime. And then he gets married.
Hey, you're starting a war right now. You know this, right? You know better than this. You know better than this.
But Kubo's like a troll. It would be so funny. Kubo's like the biggest troll.
People will hate him so bad. You thought they were sending him death threats earlier in 1,000-Year Blood War? Oh man. You would be.
I
He
think
would really set the world on fire.
Yeah, I
He
think
would really-
when we found out about the 73-page chapter, I DM'd my friend about it, and he said, "Oh, that could be interesting. It could be a slice of life chapter." And I replied, "Yeah, I think based off of what's been revealed so far, I think it's gonna be about Ichigo getting divorced with Ohime, marrying Rukia, and then them having a whole family together, and then Renji comes in by accident."
Oh man, this is gonna be crazy, man. Either way,
my opinion, at the end of the day, to everybody on camera, Ichiruki's need to step to what happened. Yep. I don't care about shipping. I think Ohime and Ichigo make more sense structure-wise. That's my opinion. And Ichiruki's, you can do your shipping in peace, but they just get really toxic about it. Like, I'm friends with Ichiruki's out there. There's just Ichiruki's out there that are so offended.
I'm, and that's what I tell people too. I said I'm one too. I was going for Ichigo and Rukia, but that's fine. I don't have anything against Orihime. I think she's an absolute phenomenal character. Yeah. She's better than Sakura, so she's really phenomenal. And I have no issues with it whatsoever. I think it could go either way, and I think that's what Kubo does. He's good. He's good at it. He's good at character relationships and bonding with these characters. So either way, yeah. But I agree with Poxel. You need to let it go. You need to stop fighting because it becomes toxic, especially in the Bleach community. Just let it go. Just let it go.
I mean, it's the worst community in the Bleach fandom right now. Are the Ichiruki shippers?
It's And this is coming from what? Like like people watch my Bleach reactions. I ship them, but it's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree.
It is. Now, you still can have it in your head. Just don't.
And you can still be public about being an Ichiruki. It's just why are you burning manga? The only reason why you criticize Kubo is because you didn't get your shipping. And why do you attack people who dislike the ship?
That's ridiculous.
or think ridiculous. That he made more sense because Ichiruki, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I think Ichigo he may make more sense. Did I ever ship Ichigo and Ohime? No, I'm not really a shipper myself.
Yeah.
So that's just me. But I think Ichigo and Ohime, like you could tell that they were gonna become a couple. Like if you read and watched Bleach, I think that makes more sense.
And that's exactly too. But now even though the manga is much more, but even in the anime, I started with the anime first.
Yeah.
I could tell you definitely could tell after she left to Wako Mundo with Ulquiorra. Remember, she was she gave him a kiss.
Yeah.
Didn't she? Yeah, she gave him a kiss before she left.
She was about to. But
she was about to.
She stopped herself and said, "I can't do this."
But she was crying too, right?
Yeah.
I think she was crying too. She let go a tear, and then she was about to kiss him, but then she did. Like, come on now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the proof was in the pudding. I mean, I don't know how much more.
I think the debate was who Ichigo would have choose, and I think the issue was the anime had filler, and in that filler, Ichigo was on a date with Rukia. It's not a date, but it's practically a date. I'm talking about the skating.
I need to go watch that again. That's my favorite episode. I'm playing. Like, Lord, chill out.
I'm like, this man down bad for real. Here we are. We got on Ichiruki, and we spent 8 minutes talking about Ichirukis for real.
Because if you talk about Bleach, there's one thing you have to understand. There's so much foreshadowing that you have to go back to past events.
Yeah.
You have to go. There's a lot of references that you need to use. So when you go and reference these moments that are happening right now, then you tend to get stuck in those moments and talk about those moments, and it's just it's over from there.
I think one of my favorite parts of this new chapter is how Kubo handled Ichigo. And I know we kind of covered it earlier, but Kubo made Ichigo act like an actual child.
Yes.
Like, as Ichigo was terrified of Sazalaporo grants.
Yeah. One. I guess in a sense, too, because I didn't think about it. he said, "And who the hell are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's right. He doesn't know him because he's never encountered him in Waco Mundo." Remember that panel? He's like, "Who the hell are you?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. He doesn't know him. That's right. We
Consistent
do
storytelling.
Yeah, we do, but he doesn't." So
Yeah.
I think for Ichigo too, it was like, well, I don't really know this guy, but he's here to do evil doings too, and he seems pretty capable of wreaking havoc.
Yeah. I also love how Renji, as soon as he realized Ichika was there, the only thing he cared about was making sure that she was safe. Like, he acted like an actual genuine father in that way.
He did. And that, and the thing is, you already knew right off the back, one, Ichigo had an amazing, terrific father. Right? He had one of the best, if not, and I say this from time and time again. To me, the best father and son relationship in all of anime. I don't care what y'all say. They'd be like, well, they didn't have much screen. Nah, I'm saying it. I love their relationships. And I think
beating your children is a great thing.
The way Ishin cares for his daughters, the way he takes care of them, the way it's so lovable. I love that character so much. And I hope we do get to see him. But Ichigo had him to learn from, and Ichigo really had to mature, because he was the older brother. His mother died. He was the protector, so he had to mature, a lot faster. Like, a lot faster. So it is, to your point, Poxel, it is actually good to see him in those qualities, especially for Ichika during that moment. It's really, really awesome, and it's really cool.
And Renji never grew up with a father, because he was...
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I think that's what makes it interesting, though, because it's like they all can learn from each other, right? In a sense, like Reggie can learn from Ichigo. Like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, some of the things that he's doing, he can learn, like, oh, wow, that's what a father does. This is what he does. That's just how he acts. That's cool. It's really sweet.
Yeah, totally agree there. It is. I think Kubo did so well with this first chapter. No matter, I know we've said it like 100 times, but it is.
He did, though.
It is so true from start to finish. Starting with like,
if it was a home run, literally. That's what I said. I was like, even as a critic, right? If you ask me, okay, so I'm thinking about being a little biased, right? Not all the way biased, but I'm just stop. Don't be a little biased as is Bleach, and I would seriously tell you that I can't find anything wrong with this chapter. The way he introduced everybody, the way he introduced the scenario, the way he introduced a past character at this time, the way he's taking care of Kazui and Ichika and establishing them and their parts within this, this story, this arc, phenomenal. Yeah, it is phenomenal.
And as we know, I found it very I think the way that children are handled in anime is usually annoying and pestering.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Now, there are a few where they're adorable. There are a few where they're adorable and they're funny and goofy, And I think Kubo nailed it with Kazui and Ichika. Especially when we find out that Ichika might have a little crush on Kazui for real.
When Ikaku pointed that out, I was dying.
And she was
like, you're kind of lonely, huh? You're thinking about Kazui, huh? He does not care. No, it's man, that's crazy though. Think about that. Seeing both of them, which I think it's a nod to it, obviously. Oh, and another thing too. I think we talked about that too. That just kind of reminds me of the 1,000-Year Blood War, and how we found out that it was actually going to get a new logo. I am still happy about it. It's something simple, but not really simple because it is the actual Bleach logo, 100%. Right? And that's going to be different compared, and I love that because if this is the 1,000-Year Blood War, I feel like the Bleach logo should be darker to fit kind of that atmosphere.
Yeah, totally
to fit the atmosphere and to let everybody know we're not playing around these parts. We're not playing around. And I can see them carrying that, obviously, that logo to whatever else story they do now.
Yeah.
Because I felt like Bleach was logo wasn't bad. It was just too colorful.
It was
too... it wasn't
I think
bad
it
by any
worked.
means.
It works for early Bleach,
Yeah.
but Bleach
Yeah.
as a story just gets darker and
Yeah,
darker
exactly.
and darker.
Like when you think about the Fullbring arc, it's like, well, can you see? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you think about the Fullbring arc, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
well,
I mean, I like the logo. My hope
Yeah,
for this
yeah,
new logo
yeah.
is that it will still contain some feeling of the old one, but be darker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't wait, man.
So-
Bleach fans, be hyped.
Totally facts. We eating.
Be hyped. We're in for
Yeah.
some treats.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So,
Whew.
final question.
Okay.
The butterfly twist.
Oh,
I
man.
remember seeing your face in your video.
Oh man. This is my face, by the way. Just like, what? It's like, no way. I think I left my chair. Hold on, let me do it again. Hold on, man. Okay, I'm fine. Okay.
It was so good.
Just like you said, it is just so good.
Yeah.
It's so good that I have to laugh about it because it's just genius. It is just so good. Like,
yeah. Imagine ending
one was expecting that.
Imagine ending a chapter like, by the way, hell's always been close to you. Why do you think hell butterflies are called hell butterflies?
Like what? Just like whoa.
And
I know.
like the hell butterflies have always had this weird name, you know what I mean? So it's just
Yeah.
it's such a perfect thing to use.
Yeah, no, seriously though, and I think it was James. It was James that commented on my video. He was like, "Your face when you saw hell," and he capitalized hell, and he said butterflies. I penned this message. I said, "Dude," I said, "Bruh," just the explosion emoji.
Yeah, but
Yeah, amazing. Unpredictable, really unpredictable.
Facts. Nobody was. This was such a good. This was such a good chapter where Ichigo was going to a celebration, a ceremony.
Yeah, and it turned upside down. And it's like, and I know he's thinking to himself, "Dang it, man! Come on! Like, what is going on now? Come on, man!"
Kubo's such a troll for that. Putting on the cover, Ichigo going to a ceremony.
This is gonna be the worst ceremony you've been at, by the way.
Yeah. By the way, Ichigo, welcome to Ukitake's ritual. Guess what? The balance is broken. The world is coming to an end, and yeah.
Man.
And you're going to hell when you die.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, you're going to hell when you die. By the way, buddy. Just like we get you. I don't know much more you can do, but you guys have to go to hell and probably figure some things out. Maybe correct some things.
The moral dilemma. Yeah, the moral dilemma that they're going to have to go through now after this is going to be crazy. Because they're going to be like, do we send captains to hell or do we let the Ryatsu destroy the world?
Well, was it that Rukia that ran up to Shansui was like, no, that can't be true. That was Rukia, right?
So I have to, it was Rukia, but I have to agree with James here. Kubo has a habit of sending us mixed messages. I don't believe that Shinsui was actually finishing what Granz was saying, and that Granz was finishing what Shinsui was saying.
Gotcha.
I think they just connected in some way. No, they could be the same. I agree, but I have a feeling that there was some kind of other message in between that we didn't get from the two. Again, they could be totally the same. I could be wilding. I could just be wilding here, but just I believe that could be something else. Now, until we get that something else, I'm gonna treat it like they did finish. But I'm just saying, when it happens, don't be like I said that there was gonna be nothing that there wasn't potential of that twist coming along.
Hey, okay.
Yeah.
All right. You and James.
Yeah.
Oh man.
James convinced me. James convinced me in his video.
James, man. Hold on, does James have his reaction up to the chapter?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does have a reaction to the chapter.
I need to go look at that. James, if you listen, I'm gonna go check that out because I got to see this guy's reaction.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And at this point, I mean, there's not too much. Like, there's a lot more that we could talk about.
Yeah, of course.
Heck, me and Blur could open up the chapter and we could go to each panel and spend an hour per panel.
Just flipping it. Talking about the backgrounds, everything.
This is so good. You know, remember that time in Soul Society arc when X person did this? Remember that time in Soul Society arc when Byakuya was still in the story and he's not here in this one shot?
Yep. No, seriously, but like you said, no, that's a good question though. You know, you're do you think he's all gonna die? And Byakuya is definitely a good one. I think Apache, there's a strong possibility for him.
What about Shinsui?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Think so. Like, and not when he's, you know, it would be something, and I think that would be a letdown if he did, just because, not just because I'm a fan of it, but from a writing standpoint, from a character, because he, you know, he's head captain now, you know, and for us just to see him now even more in this arc, seeing what, you know, how grown he is in his character development, and just kind of just like, let's get rid of him. You know, I don't see that happening. Totally. Do I see Soy Fun happening? Maybe, but I don't really.
I don't feel like Kubo's heading in that direction with her character though. Like she could die. I mean, I wouldn't care. I don't think a lot of people would really care if she died.
Hey, be careful when you say that. There actually is some fans out there.
I know she has.
I said I don't care.
She has.
I don't care.
She has a Reddit.
I said she makes me mad sometimes, and I just don't care. But you know, all in all, I still like her character too. She's not bad.
Believe this or not, Soyphone's Reddit has more members than Byakuya's Reddit.
What
the? How do I know this? Because I made a Soyphone analysis video and I got invited into her Reddit. It's like a private Reddit.
Oh my god! Hey, and what about Yoruichi, man? I want to see some Yoruichi, man. I gotta see some. I gotta see her.
We gotta see more Yu for real. The new lieutenant.
Yes.
She gave me some Yoruichi vibes when she did her attack.
Maybe that's true. Maybe we're like, no, let's leave Yoruichi out of this. You know, I mean, I can see Kubo being like, yeah, you know, so just put her out.
What if Yu? Yeah. Well, we have a last name for her, so it really couldn't be. But what if she's secretly the daughter of Kisuke and Yoruichi?
Bruh, they didn't tell us till like halfway through the arc. My head will explode.
It would make sense.
No, I told y'all, because most people that said, I said I would ship Kisuke and Yoruichi, they were like, no, they're just like really good friends. I'm like, what? I'm like, no, come on, bruh. I'm like, yeah, that might be true, but I can still see them getting together. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, totally.
Stop that.
Facts.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
I also think that Rukia versus Ukitake would be really cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Would be cool. Just to give, you know, since Rukia is a part of this, going to be a huge part of it because of her daughter, to give Rukia something, you know. Rukia is, I mean, she is a big part of Bleach, whether people like to admit it or not, just like Orihime, and, you know, and I would love to see that. To see where she stands at against him, her knowledge, her skill, you know, all of that. What we all want to see, right? What we all want to see.
Yeah.
So, absolutely.
So, I know I said final question earlier. But
What's up, man?
Where do you think Kazui's giant goldfish clouds come from?
Dude, I know people was like, do you haven't been talking about that? I'm like, man, I'm trying to talk about everything else. There's so much going on in this chapter. Jeez, leave me alone.
The goldfish clouds.
Someone literally said that to me. They was like, you know, but you missed the big fish. I'm like, no. Like,
so I have a weird story. I was reading the start of the chapter, and I thought that the goldfish in the tank was the goldfish cloud that he was riding on. Now that's wrong. Oh. That's wrong because there was two goldfishes.
Yeah, there were two.
So,
there were two.
I mean, unless that goldfish had a child with a hollow, then that second goldfish shouldn't be there. I think that story was either what James said. James said it came from somebody's perspective, or it's from Kazui's perspective to show how psychopathic his mind is accidentally.
Ooh. Hey.
Because like he would be like that childish psychopathic, somebody who doesn't realize what they're doing is wrong, or mindset is like weird and psychopathic in a way, but they are because they're so innocent.
That's true,
and it makes sense. A child would say, "Hey, the big goldfish is dead now, so that means that the small goldfish is big, and I'm happy that the small goldfish grew bigger now because I want big fish."
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know me and my homie Death Crank were talking about. We talked about how we believe that the goldfish clouds were Kazui's Fullbringer.
Whoa.
Which makes sense because Fullbringers can manipulate souls.
Could be possible. Very well be possible.
Yeah.
It's not far-fetched at all. At all.
But if you guys if you guys did enjoy this video, this is an hour and a half long. I don't know how edited it will be. It'll probably again be just like the last one where I just leave it normal and maybe cut out 1 or 2 parts. But check out Bluur Nation's channel. He's a real homie, a big one out here. Show some respect to Bleach. # Bleach forever.
Yes, Bleach forever, man. Yeah. Bleach forever until infinity.
Facts.
Seriously, thank you, Paxo, for yet again, having me on. It's always a pleasure talking about Bleach. Bluur Nation is forever.
Yeah, and I mean, if you guys like this one as much as the last one, we can do this again.
We could do this again. Yeah. We could do this again, and it'll probably a lot quicker.
Yeah, probably a lot shorter. But
probably a lot. No promises.
Yeah, no promises. Me and Blur just, I think we're perfect minds to like bounce off each other with Bleach. I think it's great. And it's a lot of fun having you here on the channel.
Dude, it's always I love it, dude.
Facts.
Like and the thing is too, the reason why I do this is because of this part. Yeah, making the videos, talking, whatever, that's cool too. But it's the part of interacting with people. It's the part of interacting with you guys. That's the fun.
Yeah, it's so collaborating is probably the best part when it comes to YouTube. I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Now it's time for everybody to say that this was better than the Tekken collab, and to move forward. And anyway, guys, if you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We're on our journey to 2K. Drop a like and comment your guys' thoughts on the little view. Any theories you have on the new chapter. If it's an interesting theory, I might make a video on your comment. And you'll, of course, get credit for the theory. But anyway, without all further ado, in the words of Genichimaru, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.